Afternoon, everybody. Turn on the white lights. Hope you all are doing well today. Um, all right, it's a beautiful day. Let me know where you are joining me from. Go to your notifications, you see it. All right, so let me know where you're joining us from. Today we are going to be discussing something very important, and it's something that you definitely don't want to miss out on. So if you are joining this live session, uh, it's if you are joining this live session, let me know where you're joining from. You can also give us a thumbs like. So today we're going to be talking about how to identify risk-prone areas for real estate investment in Lagos. Um, Good afternoon, everybody. Let me know where you're joining us from. If you are a first-time investor, I want to say welcome. Thanks for joining us. The light is still not bright. Or can leave whatever you are doing and come and fix this light. Bring this one here. The light is showing somewhere. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's better now. It's better now. It is better now. Turn it here. All right. Good. All right. So let me know where you're joining us from. Um, Let me know where you're joining us from. So I'll also be going live on Facebook as well because um, this is a very important topic and uh, is something that you definitely don't want to look out. You don't want to miss out on. Please come and help me set up this. It's something you don't want to miss out on. So I want to quickly say a very big thank you to everybody that have been sending, their condolences. Push it down. Push the phone down. All right. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that have been sending their condolences. I don't take this for granted. Um, okay, the burial date has been announced. It's going to be on the 18th and 19th of July. Did I just say July? Of September. So expect more updates. This is something that um that'll be coming on. So let me know where you're joining from. Okay, let me unplug this, please. All right. So if you are joining me, I'm waiting for like remove it. If you are joining me, let me know where you're joining from. So once I have five people, I'll start. Um, Once I have five people, um, um, okay. All right, please back. Okay, I have four, so I can start. All right, so I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that was on my live session yesterday. I really appreciate this. Okay, I think I'm good now. All right, so I really appreciate everybody that was on my live session yesterday. Let me know how my audio sounds. If you can hear me, let me know. Okay, Mr. Matthew, thanks for joining us. Okay, so let us start. Now, when it comes to investing in the Lagos State real estate market, there are some areas that are prone to risk. I know a lot of real estate marketers, though I've been getting a lot of, will I say, feedback messages from people who are like, I'm talking too much. Okay, get me. That's it there. Who feels that I'm revealing too much to real estate investors? I'm also going to be talking about that. Okay, should I even talk about that? Now, when it comes to investing in Lagos, there are so many things that are way off the scene. There are so many things that several real estate investors are not aware of. And one of the reasons why I started coming online to educate real estate investors due to the fact that I am very keen on ensuring that people get it right. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this basically is to ensure that we reduce, okay, please check my audio, is to ensure that we reduce, okay, we reduce the costs of losing out real estate investment. Now, when we talk about identifying risk zones, now this risk is a 50-50. So let me start by elaborating and stating the obvious. Now, when I talk about a 50-50 chance, I'm saying that that place or these areas that I'll be listing are places whereby you can have problem and you may not have problem. Now, the reason why you may have problems basically is that when government attention turn to all these places, it becomes a 80% higher risk prone. And these are some of the things that I'll be listing. So I have long list of things I'll be explaining today. And then in case you are coming across my channel, if you're on YouTube, or you're coming across my Facebook, if you have been following me, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. Mr. Raz, welcome. Mr. Matthew, welcome. Thank you for joining. It was a short notice, but we're going to have this conversation. It is very, very important. Now, what are those areas that are prone to risk? Now, let me start by making a clear differences between the Lagos. Now, when we talk about the Lagos is divided into major classifications. We have the highland part of Lagos, which is the Lekki, the Songotedo, the Abramadeson, yeah, is the Beju Lekki also part of the island? Okay, yes. Um, the Bejuleki and of some parts of Ekpe, okay, those are places where they are categorically regarded as the island. Okay. Now, when we now talk about the mainland, many of us are familiar with the mainland. For some of us that have been to Nigeria, the the Surulere, the Magodo, those are the areas. Now, the highland, we're talking about the island. I'm talking about the Lekki corridor, the Abramadesoya corridor, the Songotedo corridor, the Bejuleki corridor, and some part of the Elepe, and some part of the Ekpe are part of the island. Now, why the island is prone to risk is that whether we like it to admit this fact, a lot of people have failed, to admit this fact, and but that is the truth. The highland is still developing. The highland is still developing. So I know a lot of people hate to admit this fact, but the fact obviously I've stated it. The island is still developing. So whether a lot of people are comfortable with it. Now, why do I say the island is still developing? There are still some part of the island that there are still no good access road. Okay, there are still some part of the island whereby there is road construction going on. There are still some part of the island where there might be future projects and coming on. So the island has not reached its 100% development hallmark, and that basically has made it a high risk investment zone. Okay, so now the core of this live session today is to tell you, according to the report I have. Now, one of the reasons why I make videos like this is due to the fact that I work with trained professionals. I have two registered surveyors, I have lawyers, I have people that give us first-hand information about some areas and some places. When this coastal road saga started, I knew that it was going to have all these devastating effects. I knew about this, and the reason why I was able to be informed about what is going on in the coastal road was due to the fact that I have top people, even in Alausa, that gives us a developmental time frame and a developmental infrastructure that government intends to do in those areas. So I knew very well that the coastal road region of Ibejuleki is a high risk investment zone. And the moment I discovered that, I started calling the attention of real estate investors to this. For those who listened and worked with us, I want to say a very big congratulations. And for those who may not be aware of some of this information, I will just say, well, I still believe that some things can still be done, okay, to minimize the risk, okay, and of course protect your real estate investment. So you need to understand that the highland is still developing, and that makes some parts of the island, including Ibejuleki, a high risk investment zone. Now, what are those first things that you will see, or what are those places that shows that a place is high risk? Because you see, when real estate is being projected or is being marketed to people, what is mostly sold are benefits. They will tell you there's an airport coming to this axis, there's a road construction coming to this axis, which makes it a good investment destination, a hotcake investment destination, which obviously admits to the fact that that could be true. But we also need to understand that what are now going to be the future impact of this. So the first high risk investment destination that you must identify are areas that are covered with water bodies. When I talk about water bodies, I'm talking about beach front, or I'm also talking about lagoon front or any waterfront property as far as it is located on the developing part of either Ibejuleki or other part of the island is a high risk investment zone. Now, the reason why it is a high risk investment zone basically is due to the fact that, number one, government interest is very, very notable. I've stated it times without number. I've explained to real estate investors that if you are buying properties, more importantly in the Bejuleki corridor or any part of the island, you need to understand what government intends to achieve. So waterfront property are high risk investment zone. Now, the reason why they are high risk investment zone, basically, many of us will attest to the fact of what is currently going on in the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. The places that we did not envisage that will be affected are currently being affected. And that is due to the fact that government policy is subject to change. So if you are investing in waterfront or lagoon front, any of the front properties, then if it is a must for you to invest there, it is very, very advisable. It's 100% advisable that you allow professionals to work and ensure the safety of your investment so that there won't be stories that touches. Okay, get me a charger here to plug this directly. Okay, so you want to do that. So whether it is waterfront, now the reason why waterfront basically is a high risk investment zone, that a lot of people have said, have reached out to me, okay, and they've said, in as much as fact that we can get the required setbacks, any other thing, yes, we can invest. Now, I need you to understand that when setbacks are being set for areas, that setbacks is always at the mercy of who is making policy as at that time. Now, if someone reached out to me, he wanted to buy, I think, a property in the orange. Is it orange? There's just one place in the Chevron. A real estate investor reached out to me, and he wanted to buy a property and was asking for my advice. And I said, okay, fine. I really cannot give an extensive advice because I obviously don't have my own record of what government intends to achieve in that area. Now, if you are buying in this axis, some axis in the Lekki axis, now there was a particular time that I told a real estate investor about a property in the Admiralty Lekki Phase 1 shore. And when we got there, the man was interested. I think then they were selling, was it not 50 million as at that time? I think it was around 50 or 70 million. It was a promo. And when the man showed indicated interest in that property, I got a lawyer. I said that I got my surveyor to work. And when we were picking um, the setbacks, we were picking the information of that property. Now my surveyor discovered something, that there's a project that will be coming from that Admiralty where that water shoreline is. Okay, and that project will come all the way from that Lekki Phase 1. It will cut across Chevron down to Ekpe. Now, I was watching an interview by the Honorable Minister of Environment in the person of His Excellency Tokunbo, Tokunbo Wahab. Yes, His Excellency Tokunbo Wahab. And he said something about the Chevron shoreline. If you're familiar with the Chevron, the Lekki, you notice that there are some places where properties are being marketed. And he called the attention of the public to something. And he said that interview is available and you can check it out. It's online. And Tokunbo Wahab, the Honorable Commissioner of Environment, said that any shoreline or anything that is facing the water, that he is going to ensure that it sticks to the 200 meters setback. Now, when I heard that, I was very, very shocked, because a lot of people have C of O's and they have governor's consent on those property. So that kind of, awakened some level of curiosity deep inside of me. And I wanted to know that you guys have already given C of O's and you have given titles on this land. Now, if you are saying that your own ministry will enforce the 200 meters from the shoreline setback, then what is now left? So I started speaking with some professionals. And one of the things I found out, that there is, basically all lands, whether it has governor's consent, it has C of O's, it has everything, all land belongs to the government. So government is at liberty to do what they've deemed fit for the land. So what I'm trying to say in essence, basically, is that a property that has a C of O, in as much as fact that that property is encroaching on the right of way, that right of way automatically invalidates the title. Now, it was shocking when I found out. I was looking at it and I was like, so what are we now going to buy? So, in other words, if you are buying landed properties along the waterways, whether it is lagoon, whether it is beach, whether it is river or whatever, kindly ensure, okay, that you get a professional. It is not a matter of having title. The moment the land encroaches the right of way, or it encroaches the setback, once government moves or removes what they want to remove, whether it is inside the governor's consent title, whether it is inside any of the title, automatically it becomes invalid. So this is one of the things you want to ensure. So I'm not saying, please, I don't want to be misquoted. I'm not saying all the properties that is being sold along those right of way, along those things, or that is being sold to you in Lekki and the likes, will be taken over by the government. No, all I'm trying to say basically is that before you purchase, don't just rely on lawyers' report only. Get a surveyor or get an internal person in the ministry to validate and ensure that the developer that is selling to you is observing that right of way or that setback. That is if you are buying a waterfront property. Number two, another high risk prone area in Lagos that you should watch out for are properties that are facing the express. I know a lot of people have told you that property facing the express are the hot cake. Yes, I am not um disputing the fact that it is not. Thank you very much, Mr. Laura. Thank you very much. Amen, amen to your prayers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, the reason why I've not been online for some time was that my mother passed to glory. That was last week Wednesday, and we've been doing a lot of preparations, moving up and down, trying to ensure that things fall in place, and that is why I've not been around. Thank you very much, Mr. Laura Edet. I truly appreciate that. So God bless you, sir. I appreciate. Now, another high risk areas are properties that are facing a proposed road construction. Now, if you watch the video I had with Surveyor Bolade, and when we're talking about the right of way, okay, that is along the Lekki Epe Expressway, you will observe that the surveyor said something which is constitutionally backed. Now, any property that is facing the express, government is at liberty. Government is at liberty, okay, to choose if they want to increase the setback. Like for some of us now, they're buying the Epe Ijebu property because right now it seems that area right now is the new hot cake. I hope you all are aware that there is an existing setback for the Epe Ijebu axis. Now, any developer that is carrying you or taking you, Epe Ijebu is immediately after that toll gate. Okay, it's immediately after that toll gate. So, any real estate developer that is taking you and showing you properties that is directly facing that Epe Ijebu toll gate, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that you are buying trouble, because you see, the government have clearly stated a 1.5 kilometer setback immediately after the express. So back to my initial discussion, I said that the reason why, okay, buying properties directly facing the road is a high risk is due to the fact that if there is a need to expand the road in the future, let's say if there is an if that place is always experiencing traffic congestion, severally, there's this, there's that, and government see a need, okay, to expand the road network. Now, government is at liberty, okay, to do what? To extend the right of way. That means they can say, let's say initially the setback is 20 meters. Now, if there's a need to construct maybe a dual road in order to ease traffic movement, government is at liberty to say, okay, I want to increase the setback to additional, let's say, an additional 20 or additional 40. Now, if you are buying, if you must buy any property that is facing the express, the one thing you must understand basically is that if government states 20-meter setback or 30-meter setback, dear investors, ensure that you also do what? You leave like additional 20 or 30, so that if there's a need for, if there's an urgent need for road expansion in the future, are we together? If there's a need for road expansion in the future, your property will not be affected. That is area number 2. So what I'm doing on this live session basically is that I am explaining areas that are considered high risk investment zone for those who want to invest in Lagos. And I just discovered that I've even gone beyond Lagos, and I'm including other places. Number 3, areas where we'll be having regional roads. Now, something happened in the Kayetoro axis of Ibejuleki 3 years ago. Is it 3 years? Okay, this is 2025, 3 years ago. Now, for some of real estate investors, this is not a call for panic, but it's just for you to understand areas or understand what is going on in Lagos where you are investing. Now, as at I think around 2023, 2024, I can't remember the exact date, the precise date, but I knew that there was a demolition that happened from the Kaitoro axis of Ibejuleki, and some properties were affected. Now, there was a news. You see, the reason why I really don't like what some bloggers are doing is that bloggers sometimes, some spread fake information. They spread fallacious information just to incite ethnic rivalry, to misinform. So, when the news about the 176 estates that Lagos State um, declared illegal, when the news broke out, the way this information was interpreted, I was disappointed, also because of the fact that during my mother's passing, I didn't have the time to come online. I would have, explained a lot of things, and it was quite unfortunate. It was quite unfortunate that the way some people reported the news, if I had my way, I would flog something because what was reported to the general public was way way different from what was actually happening, to what actually happened. And this is one of the reasons why I've always emphasized on the need, okay, to always be mindful of who you receive information from. Because you see, as long as Lagos is concerned, everybody wants to trend, and informations are mostly interpreted in a wrong manner sometimes. And when people report with different intentions and motives. Some is to cite ethnicity, some is to cite violence, some is to cite, some other things. What actually happened in the Kaitoro axis, where the regional roads were being constructed, was due to the fact that some properties were inside that road, and there was a need for government to do what, to demolish properties. That was what happened. And the way they reported it, in fact, some people actually there was a YouTube video I saw, and how best do I explain this? I was annoyed. Like, this is pure misinformation. And that's one of the reasons why I've always explained to diasporan investors that when you get informations, try to vet the source, okay, so that they won't give you unnecessary blood pressure. I started receiving calls immediately after that 176 estate. And why government did declare them illegal? Because they don't have layout, and layout is not a big deal. The way they reported it, this, of course, I think our election is around the corner. Now, if you are buying a property in areas where they are either future or present road construction, those areas are a high risk zone, and they are prone to problems. Now, there are areas in the Ibejuleki axis where there will be roads. Let me tell you the amount of roads that I have confirmed that will be coming up in the Ibejuleki corridor. The first one, okay, is the coastal road, which has started. The second one is the Lekki Expressway, which many people have vetted. The next project that will be coming in is the Purple Line project, is the Purple Line rail project. And government have started in marking areas that falls under the right of way. Another project will be coming up in the Ibejuleki International Airport. So these are some of these projects that will be coming in. Then we also have um, the regional road, which I'm presently experiencing. So, and of course, there will be the fourth mainland bridge, which will lead to my next point that I'll be explaining. Now, you see, for this regional road, if you are investing in the Folu corridor of Ibejuleki, if you are investing in the Kaitoro corridor of Ibejuleki, if you are investing in the Lakwe corridors of Ibejuleki, and some other places are confirmed, and I'll let you know, kindly ensure that you are not investing anywhere close to this regional road. Because you see, even if government gives you title, the moment the title falls inside that project, the title automatically becomes invalid. And that is why I've always insisted and informed investors that investing where there is a road project is a high risk zone. And if you have the shoulder, okay, to shoulder it, fine. That is destination number 3. Are you following? Number 3. Now, the next area that is a high risk zone for investing in Lagos, okay, is where the proposed fourth mainland bridge will be constructed. The next high risk investment zone that you must avoid is where the proposed fourth mainland bridge will be coming up. Now, there's been a lot of controversies. There's been a lot of informations that have been circulating the internet concerning this, and I've had a lot of people who have reacted differently to this. Now, we all know that the Fourth Mainland Bridge is a project that is in the pipeline, but as you are investing in Lagos, please be mindful so that you don't invest in those areas. Now, how can I know areas that have been affected? See, if you go to the Lagos State website now, if you should type the Fourth Mainland Bridge, or you go online and just type areas affected, I know larger part of Badore will be affected, some part of Ikorodu, just few part of Ikorodu. All you need to do basically is that just get a map of where the bridge will cut across, where the bridge is starting from, where it will cut across, and where it will end. The moment you are able to identify this, then you can know where to avoid. Because I can tell you that some people who have this information at their disposal right now are already selling off their properties as distress sales. They are distress sales. They're already selling it. Now, I was talking with a colleague of mine. We had a conversation yesterday. He came to pay, the normal condolence visit. Sorry about your mom. God bless her, blah, 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 blah. So we got into conversation, and there was something interesting he said. He said, while he was doing a survey for one of his clients, he discovered that there were a lot of irregularities in the survey. So he decided to call an experienced surveyor, and what he discovered was quite shocking. I know that the Fourth Mainland Bridge will affect some part of Badore. Some part of Langbasa will also be affected. I also know that maybe smaller portion of Orchid and some areas may be affected. I really, so what I'm going to do basically is that I am going to give myself this task, okay? I'm going to work with some of our professionals who are going to give us an information of areas that the Fourth Mainland Bridge might affect it. Now, the funny thing basically is that the project has not started though, and I can assure you that it will not start soon. See, when you have all these informations at your disposal, these informations, okay, will help you identify where to buy and where not to. Now, you will understand that you will discover that all these areas I've mentioned, larger percent of them are on the island. Why we have been having repeated cases of demolitions basically is due to the fact that, whether we like to admit it or not. Now, I am not this kind of individual, okay, that in case you're joining this video for the first time, you have been getting all my information and you have not subscribed. It's not fair now. No channel dishes out information as raw as I am. And one of the best ways you can say, I appreciate what you're doing. I like what you're doing. If you're on Facebook, give me a like, follow me. If you're on YouTube, come on, just kind of give us a subscribe, and of course, tell people about the good work we're doing here. So, one of the things I've come to discover is that most of the areas affected are always on the island. Why? Because a lot of people are failed to admit the island is still developing. I know a lot of people does not like to hear this. They are still there are some places in Ibejuleki where they are still doing the normal, they still perform the traditional rites. Yeah, they still perform the traditional rites. So whether you choose to admit it or not, that is the reality and that is a fact. So it is very important that you pay adequate attention to some of these key due diligence. The final high risk investment zone that you should avoid basically are on untitled properties, more importantly in the Lagos corridor. Now, the reason why I'm going to say this is due to the fact that when we talk about untitled properties, um, properties that don't have a title, so they can say is either in progress or in now. The reason why I'm saying this is I think I've said this in one of my live sessions. I know this one is not what I'm being told. I know I've met developers, okay, that have excise lands. When I talk about lands, I'm talking about acres in the Elerongbe corridor of Ibejuleki. And when attention shifted to the international airport, you see all these excise lands and excision in process land in the Elerongbe corridor were all revoked. So if there are areas whereby it has become very obvious, you can tell even from how do I say this now? Even from information. Now, I know a lot of people will not like this. I can tell you now that when government is done, okay, with the Bejuleki corridor, you know, of course, the Bejuleki as as um how do I say it now? Ibejuleki has evolved. Ibejuleki right now is one of the hottest investments in destinations now. I can assure you, it's a guarantee that the moment government is done with Ibejuleki, attention will shift to Badagry. So all these estates that you saw in Epe, saw in Ikorodu, saw in Ibejuleki, saw in Lekki, I can assure you that developers, I know some developers that have bought acres and they have just reserved it. So because there's going to be a deep sea port in Badagry, there might be a refinery that is yet to be seen, and of course a free trade zone will also be coming to Badagry. Now we know it's in the pipeline. So the most important thing you must not do is don't repeat the same errors that was repeated there. So back to the Elenogbe case, simply because most of the lands did not have recognized title, the excision in the Elenogbe axis were all revoked, and government sold it as allocation to new buyers. So high risk investment zone as far as Lagos State is concerned, anything excision or in progress is not a good, is a high risk investment. See, I have a lot of developer friends that are selling excision, and I know a lot of them will come from my head, but the truth basically is what happened in Elenogbe. It has, you see, that singular act of revoking the titles has made excision in that area a high risk. So if you have excision and your excision is still intact, start working to get the allocation. So that is, so those are the areas. Um, those are the top 5 high risk investment zones in Lagos. And let me know what you feel. Perhaps I might have, let's say, omit some parts. This is why we're here. We're here to learn together. We're here to gain more experience together, and let us know how these things are. If I've omitted some, you are free to drop a comment. I'm live on Facebook. I'm live on YouTube. I was supposed to even go live on Instagram, but my other phone is faulty. But of course, I'll be looking forward. I'll be adding the TikTok live session to that in subsequent time. But for now, it's on Facebook and YouTube. So so at this juncture, I will give room for questions, and by the special grace of God, I'll be hosting another live session tomorrow, Saturday. Um, I don't know how I intend to do this. So in that live session, I'll be talking about low risk investment zones, areas where you can site your properties in Lagos. I'll be discussing that by God's grace tomorrow. Because I don't want this video to be, you know, one thing about YouTube is that people don't like lengthy videos. So that was why when I started the video, I went straight to the point, listed the areas. So let's have questions very quickly. Thank you for the likes. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Um, if you have not followed me on Facebook, come on, give us a follow, drop us a comment as well. So let's have questions very quickly. Let's have questions very quickly. I have some couple of questions here. I was unable to attend to all the questions yesterday because that live session I had was not planned. But like I do all the time. Now, someone asked me a question before I came online, and he asked, "How come you have all these informations at your disposal, and why other realtors like you not sharing this? Is it because of their own personal gain, or is it that Nigerians are generally wicked?" No, let me quickly correct this assertion. If all Nigerians are generally wicked, I will not be doing what I'm doing here today. Now some of these informations that I'm sharing on this live session, I did not ask anybody to bring money. I did not ask any. Now these are informations that if you want to get from other professionals, the first thing you do is they will demand for a consultation fee, and maybe they give you a consultation of maybe an hour. Then after that, they give you half information and they will ask you to source for there. So if all Nigerians are generally wicked, I will not be doing this because I may be a part among those proposed wicked. So you can see from what I'm doing, they're not wicked. The reason why you don't get to hear many people talk about some of these things is that information is very, very key. Not everybody are privy to some of the informations we share online, and we really thank God because we've been able to collaborate with top government officials, and of course we have professionals in our team. So these people, we know what is going on because of the information. So most people don't have access to some of these informations, and that's why they don't get to share. So that's just it. So I have a question. Ah, Coastal Road. Okay, I'll take it. The gazetted portion of the Coastal Road. I bought a property from a real estate developer who told me the gazetted portion is 30 meters. That the only places that the portion may changes is at the toll point. Okay, okay. Okay. Let me just tell you what I know about the Coastal Road. Um, there's a difference. If it was to be, it's a coastal highway. Now, ordinarily, the gazetted portion initially, okay, was 30 meters. So if a developer have sold a property to you following that portion, that doesn't mean the developer is telling a lie. No, it's not. Okay. It may be 30 meters because that was what was specified. But let me also say this in addition, that if it was Lagos state government that did that coastal road, I am very, very certain because Lagos state government has given government allocations to people along that coastal road. They've given different titles. So I'm very, very confident that Lagos state government will put it in mind and work with the specified setback, which was originally meters. So that is not to say that the developer do you no, because the way at which people, one of the things I said at the commencement of this video is that it really infiltrates me, okay, when people are being misled, when informations of vital magnitude are being, explained in a wrong or a disorderly manner. Now, according to government, if it was Lagos State government, I'm sure they would have stuck to the originally 30 meters. But now, power don't change hand. The construction right now is being done by the federal government. So, federal government now are now at the liberty to say that the original gazetted portion or the original right of way has changed. So, until now, I stand to be corrected. Until now, I stand to be corrected. I'm yet to see an official statement that is clearly stating the setback. And if you listen to the video I had with, that's one of the reasons why I brought a surveyor. And immediately after the burial, when everything is done, this video I'll be having this my channel, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, I'll be having interviews with professionals, those who will tell you the way things are. I'll be having interviews with more surveyors, more registered surveyors. I'll be having interviews with lawyers, experienced lawyers. I'll be talking to you about properties, some of these things that you may not know. And this is why you have to follow me, whether on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, because I am committed to one thing. And that thing basically is that you get the informations the way they are, so that you will be in a better position to say, this is what I should go for, this is what I should not go for. So there is no official record stating where the setback will be. And that was why I said, for now, let them finish their road. Let them show where the setback starts from. Even if they say the setback, let us assume. I'm not saying this. Let's assume they say, okay, fine, we want to be considerate. What we are going to take is maybe 50 meters or 100 meters. Now, let us assume it is 50 meters. Okay, the official gazetted setback for the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road is 50 meters. It is an assumption. I'm not saying it is. Now, what you are supposed to do is that in addition to that 50 meters, my dear brothers and sisters, give them additional 10 meters. That's how it's done. So that that is if it is. So for now, there is no official statement stating this, whether it is 10 or 15 or 20 or 30. Like I said, we are still awaiting the official gazette, and trust me, if I get it, I will definitely let you know. All right, so that, I hope that has answered your question. So I also have another question here. So for some of you who may want to send me questions, my WhatsApp, okay, I'm online now, so I'm reading most of the question here from my WhatsApp here with my laptop. So I can categorically tell you I'm seeing your message. So for those who may be asking, it is +234. If you are from diaspora, if you're sending a message from the diaspora, it is +234 802 +234 802 132 +234 802 132 7360 +234 802 132 7360. So that's my official WhatsApp. You can drop your question there, and the ones I cannot attend, I will definitely contact our lawyers and surveyors, and they will do that. So this one says, I bought a property in the Chevron axis. Are you saying government might enforce the setback? Okay, when I make videos like this, and that is why for some of my viewers that have been following me, I have always been as simple as possible. Now, when it comes to administration in Lagos, somebody can come in and says, okay, people have already built here. Okay, let them just pay some amount of money for violating one or two regulations, and that will be all. Because you see, what actually happened in the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, basically there were some places that the road shouldn't have been affected. Will I say miraculously or mysteriously? the houses were demolished. And lo and behold, we started having rancor online and this and that. But there were past administrations that saw some of those houses and they didn't have any problem. So what I'm trying to say in essence basically is that an administration can come in, or a new commissioner or a new government officials can come and say, okay, fine, I want to be very, very considerate since there are structures there and the damages is not much, we can overlook it. And someone else can come and says, I want to enforce the right of way. I want properties to go. If you are following what I'm saying, okay, you will understand that decisions can change at any time. And that is why I have always emphasized that it doesn't cost much to do the right thing. So if you must, I love that area. I've been there. A lot of real estate developers have they took me there and they said, okay, Adechare, I want you to market this property on your platform. Tell investors, you are very, very reputable. We've seen your good works. We've heard good comments about you. Um, Putting these products on your timeline or on your Instagram or your Facebook or your YouTube will authenticate that the property is genuine. And lo and behold, dear real estate investors, these developers showed me their title document and I confirmed it. I confirmed their title. So they have that title. The only clause that my lawyer raised was that for now, we know that they have this title. We also know that there's a right of way that will be coming towards this axis. Now, somebody may come in and says, okay, let's look for a way to make this investment work for both parties. Since they've bought, since they've built, let's overlook it. Another person can come and say, I'm not overlooking it. This is the right of way. I want to enforce it. So our lawyer told us that it is a 50-50 investment area. It's a high risk investment. So the safest of all is not to have anything to do with that area. And I was glad when the Commission of Environment, in the person of Mr. Tokunbo Lawal, said that his own ministry will be enforcing the 200 meters setback. We heard it. It was clear. I think in show he had with confidence, the KK show with confidence. He mentioned it. If you think I'm exaggerating, it's there. You go and check it. You hear him. The interview the Honorable Commissioner had. So in that area, what the Honorable Commissioner said is a confirmation to what our lawyer. See, I just don't bring property and say buy. If you know the kind of digging we do before we make recommendations, I am not a 20,000 or 30,000 real estate professional. I'm a professional to the core. So there are some things I know. There are some things I will tell you. There are some things I know. There are some risks I will not take. So I hope I have answered your question. I am not saying that those people don't have titles. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is that for the fact that it's a waterfront, it's a 50-50 chance. Maybe not now, but in the future. I hope I've explained myself very well. So I'm not saying you should not buy you. Please. I'm not saying you should not invest. What I'm just saying basically is that if there's a need for you to invest, ensure your surveyor identify that setback and you stay as far as it. What I'm saying is very synonymous to what I said at the construction of that coastal road. That's just it. So I hope I've been able to answer your question, because I don't want the situation. Okay. I also have a question on my WhatsApp. Okay. I also have a question on my WhatsApp. I got a question. Sorry. All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Smart. What's your name? Now, Mr. Smart said something which is in addition to some of the things he has been saying. Mr. Smart, sorry, hold on, sorry. All right, I'm so sorry, sir. I'll call you, sir. All right. So Mr. Smart said something about, okay. What he actually said is, you are doing a great job. I really appreciate um your professionalism. Some of your informations are true, while some I'm also going to confirm myself. Of course, that's the essence of this conversation. So my job basically, some are true, some I'm still going to confirm by myself. But overall, please accept my condolence and keep doing the great job. You already have a subscriber. Thank you very much. So I also have this from Mr. Adiola. Because the reason why I'm calling their name is that they have given me permission. Mr. Adiola said, um, the way you dish out information, are you sure you are not an APC official? But you know the way things are in Lagos now, you have to be close to the source so that you can get information. Now, the reason why I am always eager to get all this information basically is that I have made some decisions, some mistakes when I started real estate newly, and this mistake would have been averted if I had quality information at my disposal. So basically, I think that has answered it. All right. So thank you very much for those kind words. I really appreciate it. All right. So if I have questions, this is okay. I have just 5 more minutes to go. My director is telling me I have just 5 more minutes to go. So please, I still have questions. I may not be able to answer all your questions. Okay. So I would say, let us save several other questions for tomorrow. Let's save several other questions for tomorrow. My lines are buzzing right now. There are calls I need to take. There are things I need to reach out to. So I apologize. I apologize. Um, so what I'll be doing basically is that tomorrow I'll be responding to some of those questions. So tomorrow I'm going to be showing you places that are not high risk. Okay. Um, don't see it like I am uh, marketing those areas. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, let me start by saying I help people invest in real estate. Um, to the glory of God, we've been doing this consistently now. Now I think this is our 7th year, and to the glory of God, we've had remarkable records of success. So you want a well-informed people like us to help you. You should be calling us, whether it is now. Despite if I said the Highland is a high risk, yes, it is. I must admit that, though it's not something that many people would definitely want to admit, but it's actually the truth. It's high risk, but we can minimize the risk by getting the right professionals to investigate the title. So this is why you have to be part of this um, social media, whether my King's Court um, on YouTube, then of course my name on Facebook. You should be part of this. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. So for those who are asking when is the burial, so the burial will be taking place on the 18th and 19th of September. Of course, in Amod of my two estates, that's where my mother resides during her lifetime. For those who have supported me in what way, in any way, thank you. I what cannot accurately describe how grateful I am. I thank you very much, and I'll be looking forward to that. But until that time, I'll also be coming online. I may not be able to do maybe going to sites, okay, to make site videos, and also to let you know that any videos you are seeing are videos I've done before my mother's passing, because I must give her that honor um, for that. But I still have to do what I need to do, so that, because a lot of people have been asking, Adejare, are you still doing real estate? I am. Oh. It's just that I had to just give my mother the honor by staying off work until she's buried, and probably just spend some time with families and the ones that is left. So thank you very much. I want to start by saying a very big thank you to everybody that's been following. So tomorrow, of course, it's going to be as exciting, as educative, and of course as informative as it has always been. I would definitely not drop the standard. Thank you very much. In case you want to do any form of real estate investment, whether I have advertised it or not, you want us to do one or two check, you are free to contact us. You are, and I'll just be posting some old videos of some of the sites I've done, so you get to see them on my WhatsApp, on my YouTube, on my Facebook, and other social media. You get to see them, and in case you're interested in any of them, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you very much for your time. Is 1 hour, and I don't want to extend beyond that. Thank you. See you tomorrow by 4:35 p.m.